sitting here with Markus Lander. How should I introduce you? You probably one of the more significant string flow Kendama players. You're a Kendama player from Copenhagen, Denmark. You've been playing 9 years?
Yep.
And I would say, as like a fan of you and me being in the community for a while, you're one of the more creative string tech, string flow, but also like not only string flow, but just you have a certain creativity, I think, in the community with your posts. You've had some good edits. You've been around for a while. You were on Chrome for a while, and now you're on Lotus. Yeah, that's a good introduction.
Yeah, that's somewhat. I'll take it.
Yeah, am I missing anything?
I mean, no. Yeah, I mean, you covered some stuff there for sure.
Do you want to go to the beginnings of Kendama for you, and then maybe take us through Copenhagen? Yeah, I think a lot of the listeners are from the States, so they probably don't even know where Denmark is.
Mm-hmm.
They think of Europe as the Eiffel Tower, and but Denmark is like a super significant part of the European scene and the global Kendama scene. I mean, for a while it was like America, Denmark, Japan. You know. So take me through like how you got started, and then kind of like going through crom shops and the people and everything.
All right, so I started playing in 2014. My good friend Tobias, also known as Tops, he had been at this confirmation party, I think,
Okay.
And someone at this party had like a red eagle kendama, like it was an eagle kendama with a red ball, and
It's eagle.
Yeah, it's this. We have a toy store in Denmark called BR.
Okay.
I don't know what it's for.
Yeah, it's like the little dude with black hair.
He's like wearing this helmet thing with black hair, and they were selling their version of a kendama, and it said like Eagle Kendama on the bottom of it.
Okay.
So he was at this confirmation party, and he saw it for the first time. Him and I used to hang out all the time, so I think I went to his place. And I just like saw him fool around with it shortly.
Yeah.
And then shortly after, we went to this summer camp that we would go to every now and then. And at the summer camp, I was with 3 other really close friends.
Yeah.
And we called ourselves like the Fisherman Crew. That was like our name back in the day. So there was a lot of downtime at this summer camp. So
And how old were you?
I was 18 at the time.
Okay.
I had just turned 18. Maybe I was 17 actually, just a few days before turning 18.
I thought you started playing when you were younger, but no, it was 17, 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, So Tubbs, he brought that to the camp.
Okay.
And because there was so much downtime, like the kendama just took turns between all of us, and we quickly got like kind of competitive with it.
Yeah.
And and we all started playing at the same time. And I remember one of the days on the summer camp, we were like, all right, we need our own ones.
Yeah.
So we went into the closest city to a skate shop, and we all picked up our own, and that's when I got like my first kendama.
Okay.
Yeah, which was from a brand I haven't seen since, hadn't heard about it ever before or since. It's called Skills Kendama, like with a C at the end. Which is
or a Z?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And since I have
so crazy.
Every time I'm telling the story, I've never met anyone who has known about this.
You still have the original?
No, the thing is, like, to fast forward a little bit, we came back to the same camp next year, where I remember there was some American dad type figure with his kid who came up to us, saw us play kendama, and thought it was so cool, and I just gifted him the kendama, because at that time I had no idea how much kendama would end up meaning and stuff.
Yeah.
So
it'd be nice to have your like original one.
Yeah. I think about it kind of often, like if I just had that, or just a tama at least or something.
Yeah.
So we used to. So we were at that summer camp. When summer camp ended, we had all gotten our own.
Okay.
And we just kept meeting up, and like we used to skateboard and rollerblade a lot.
Yeah.
So every time we went out to the sesh, it was like the perfect secondary tool for us to bring along for the session.
Okay.
And
And this was the Fisherman Crew.
yeah,
So who was in the crew?
so there's a guy called Daniel Overbeck, Victor Sverge, Tops, myself, and a guy called also Victor. Yeah, we
Okay.
called him VK.
Yeah, because there's already another Victor.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Mm.
And so you were like 18, 19. Before that, what were your hobbies? Were you like skating?
Yeah, skateboarding was well. If we go back a little bit further, I've been playing football since I was 6 years old.
Soccer?
Yeah, soccer,
Yeah.
which we call football here in Europe, I think.
Trying to hang on as much as I can to my
Yeah.
identity.
So yeah, we played football and I played football and soccer, and when I reached my mid-teens, I started skateboarding a lot through the same guys in Fisherman Crew. Actually, they
Okay.
got me into it,
Okay.
and then we, Kendama came few years later. So I think it was either after a year or two. We had like played consistently. I gotten better,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure how we ended up knowing about the chrome shot, but it was a long time from starting. A long time after starting, we figured out, wait, there's a freaking Kendama shop in Copenhagen. At the time, we were living 20, 30 minutes away from Copenhagen. So we started, like, I came to a Saturday session. I think I saw through Instagram that they had a Saturday session or something.
Yeah.
And
Was it just you or you came with your crew?
Oh, I don't remember. I think the first time it was just me and Daniel.
Yeah.
And I remember picking up a chrome, like oak kendama, like a natty, and a red osora.
Okay.
First time kind of like expanding and like getting better kendamas, because I ended up picking up a few of those skills kendama throughout the years.
Oh.
Because that was like the only place we knew had kendama, so we just and they like kept restocking. They had so many different colorways, and
Wait, were you when you went to like the random skate shop? Did you just were hoping that there was a kendama there?
to be honest, I don't remember. Maybe Victor from the crew, he had known about them selling them. I think he was kind of familiar with kendama, but had never like played it. I'm not too sure on that actually.
Okay. And Tubbs was the one that showed it to you, but was it Victor that knew about it first?
Good question. To be honest, it's kind of getting blurry in my memory at this point. I just remember seeing it the first time from Tubbs. But yeah.
And okay, so then it became kind of like you went to the chrome shop. It was like a secondary tool for when you were skating.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys were all pretty consistently playing, or were some people like branching out a little bit more and getting better? Or?
Yeah, so our friend Daniel, I remember he was the one who progressed the fastest.
Okay.
He was getting onto whirlwinds really fast.
Okay.
And juggling, I think he was the first one to get into as well. Back when it was just big cup, juggle back to big cup.
Yeah,
which was
with the pointer finger.
Yeah, exactly. It was just the same. He was kind of like better than the rest of us. And later when we started learning hand rolls and spacewalks, I remember him getting really like deep in that before the rest of us.
Okay.
Yeah. I think his name is Dama.Danny, like his old Instagram account if someone wants to go do some research.
Okay.
Yeah. So he kind of he progressed faster.
Quicker.
Yeah, a little bit quicker. And like back then I remember we didn't know what any names of the tricks were. So big cup to bird, like earth turn to spike, we just called the one because when starting out we were like that it's just unfathomable how anyone could do that. So once we started hitting it, we were like, oh, we did the one.
No way.
And then we called it whirlwind. We just called it Terminator because we thought like it needs to have like a badass name because this trick is just too sick.
Terminator.
The Terminator. Yeah.
Like the English word of it, not even the Danish word?
Yeah, just Terminator.
The English word? Yeah. So what kind of tricks were you doing back then? Do you remember the difficulty and like tricks you were like scheming on?
I think like if we fast forward away from just like cupping, going from cup to cup, I remember really getting into spiking from pretty much any position because I thought that was just sick. And I remember when watching YouTube videos, everyone always ended their tricks on spike, so I put emphasis on spiking tricks. But then as we got better, a few years into it, I got really attracted to lunars. I
Okay.
remember, I think it was a year and a half, 2 years later, and after I had started putting just a few clips on Instagram, there was this Danish brand from far away from Copenhagen that made kendamas that sent me a one, and I think it was one of my first time trying like rubber paint, and then I started to do lunars on that, and then I got super into lunars. At that time, I had been very inspired by Torkil, who was doing a lot of the rovers and the tray flips. I'm like, lunars, I gotta get good at those.
So when did you like enter the Kendama civilization?
Yes, so that was that one time.
Because for a while it was just your crew, and maybe you guys were watching YouTube videos a little bit.
We're definitely watching YouTube videos. I don't know. I was kind of late to the Instagram thing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't that much on Instagram, I think. But maybe
Facebook. That was like a thing.
To be honest, I struggle remembering what I was like, what kind of content I was consuming at first. But the way I started playing with other players outside of Fisherman Crew was we went to the shop and I had my first encounter with Rolf, which I remember him being like, "Oh, hey, welcome to the shop, whatever."
Yeah.
There's this, like, if you beat me at a game of Ken, you win a Tama. Like, that was just how it was going down.
Immediately, like, before you shook your hand.
Yeah, I was just like, "Oh, hey, who are you?" No, I just started Kendama. Like, okay. Like, just seeing him play.
You put
like,
that challenge out there for everybody.
Yeah, then I remember, like, I was doing, like, a turntable at the shop, and I was missing it, or maybe it was a double. And Rolf, like, saw me do it, like, and then he did the double turntable and just spiked it in front of me.
Never
and
changed.
And like, I remember him being so rude to me that, like, I remember crying my first time I was ever in the Chrome shop, just like from being like hurt by Rolf, basically. Yeah.
And you weren't like 13, just were like 19.
No, yeah, I was like,
what do you do?
I don't know, just talking shit, like, I don't know, you know.
Were you actually crying?
Well, I remember getting hurt.
Yeah. You're kind of on the inside?
Yeah, definitely on the inside. I don't remember if tears came out, but
Did he deter you from playing Kendama?
oh, it definitely made me not want to return to the Chrome shop.
Okay.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Because thinking like, all right, there's such a competitive environment there. I'm not much of a competitive guy or whatever.
Dude.
But I don't remember so much more than that exactly, because we eventually ended up coming back to the Chrome shop again and again and again, and it wasn't long before. When it was Saturday, there was no question we were going to the Chrome shop.
Really?
We were going to the Chrome shop. Like,
was this the Vesterbro Chrome shop?
Yes, the very first one at West End 20, which to me stands out as a really super iconic one. It was like this basement building, where Philip and Torgil had their offices in the back.
Yeah. And I remember I was there like 1 or 2 sessions, 2016, and it was a nice street that was very closed off, and usually you guys were in the middle of the street, and cars would come by and they'd be mad.
Yeah.
Everyone had to get out the street. So you're watching some YouTube videos. Remember the early YouTube videos you were watching?
There's a few. Torkil Mai really quickly caught my eye.
Yeah.
He had done the Terra entry video. I can't remember the name of it right now, which is silly that I can't. But yeah, it was. I think it was Terra grip entry or something, or what am I?
Yeah, they were the grip entries.
Mm-hmm. And he had just a super awesome submission, and I know like many people have been inspired by that exact video.
Yeah.
Because he had like string flow, he had turntables, lunars, and like he just made Kendama look so fun.
Yeah.
So definitely him. But I don't remember where in the timeline, but in the early days I was very inspired by COTK.
Okay.
Especially Chris June, just the way he was playing Kendama made it just look like something I would want to do as well.
Yeah.
Just like sick style.
And
they had that crew feeling.
Yeah.
Of like a gang of Kendama homies going out filming together.
The Fisherman Crew wasn't quite there.
No, well, kind of. We weren't really doing edits. Well, I think we had an Instagram actually where we filmed like little cuts of both skating and the eventual Kendama trick as well.
Is it still out there?
Probably. Yeah.
Do you remember the username?
Fisherman Crew something.
Have you like looked this up at all?
Oh, that would have been years ago. But I mean, I don't think any one of us have taken it down.
It's loading. Or you following them still, you think?
No, I don't think so.
Fisherman Crew.
I think it's men, as in, yeah, or maybe, no.
I feel like we're going to find a lot of like fishing events.
Oh, that top one.
No way, dude.
Yeah. There you go.
What? You have a Christian post.
Well, basically,
You guys were all Christian.
we became friends through the boarding school, which was a Christian boarding school.
Okay.
I grew up super Christian. So at the time, we were really like identifying with Christianity and Jesus.
Wow, you guys, okay, I was thinking more of like this rebellious graffiti crew, but you guys were like praying on the weekends.
Yeah, well, back then it was like, we're rebellion, but we're Christian while being it, you know? Like, we're making Christianity cool. So yeah, but actually there's more Kendama shops.
Was Tubbs in the Christian crew too?
Yeah, he's right there.
Dude, this is crazy.
So a bunch of skateboarding and rollerblading
By the way,
clips.
it's a sick logo.
I think Tops made that actually.
Should we find the first Kendama clip, or is this one of them?
Yeah, well, it should be coming up shortly.
You guys have a random post.
Yeah, just shout out
sick ass like skating clips, and then there's like good people don't go to that.
Yeah, shout out Daniel for running the IG.
Give up a church, dude. This is wild, man.
Dang.
The streets are out here, man. The streets are real.
Yeah, I wonder when the Kendama. Oh, that's me.
This is you.
Fucking
Dang, dude.
Fakey frontside big spin.
Tubbs?
Yeah.
What skate park is this?
This is in a city called Kø.
Okay.
Kø. Super far away. In the middle of nowhere. Oh, so I guess this would be one of the first.
So what year? 2014? 40 years ago.
I don't know how long time that is. Oh, it's at 2015, I think. March 2015.
Yeah.
So we had, I guess, been playing for like a
Year or two.
little less than
All
a
right,
year.
first clip.
Yeah,
Who's this boy?
that's me.
No way.
A whirlwind, base cup to the lighthouse.
Not handed?
I would think not. Trade pickup. Let's go.
Dude, this is crazy, man.
Yeah. This is me and Tobbs. Yeah.
All right, so you're getting string flow down.
Yeah, and I give him a little pizza bounce.
And he catches Tommy. He was ripped, dude. What happened?
I think he's just skinny.
What is this, bro? Who's that?
That's Victor being fabulous.
Okay. Nice. Super cool.
That's the skills Kendama. I think that might be Topps's.
Okay. Cool. So nowadays, how did your style end up transforming into? Nowadays, you find a new trick. I feel like since I've known you, you've been a player who is just creating new. You're creating new tricks. I've never seen a post of yours that is something that has been done before, really. You know, not to like flex for you, but like, I mean, I know you do like cloud balances and you might combine two concepts together, but for the most part, like especially your edits, it's all just like your own thing. So how did those two things merge from you starting to that? Like, what was that process like?
I think once I got on Instagram and saw people kind of like, you know, like you kind of create a personality or whatever through your posts and your style. I was really inspired by Benjamin Mastic at the Chrome Shop, seeing like he was coming up with new stuff all the time. Like every Saturday when we were seshing, he was just like string flowing, doing crazy stuff. So so it was kind of through him I could see that you could like get creative with it through the string kind of easily. But I would say since I hung out with the rollerblading guys in Fisherman Crew, Daniel showed me a rollerblader called Nick Labar, who was interesting because he was a very, very high level. He would be like amongst the top skaters and rollerbladers in the community. Yeah. But he was posting videos that were like super minimalistic tricks, just like just kind of scraping the ground or doing something where people were like the hell is this? Like the purist would be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But for me, it had so much expression, and he was like using beautiful music and beautiful black and white editing, and so I thought it was cool how he was actually so ridiculously good at skating, but chose to just express himself through this other style or just doing exactly what he wanted. So when I started filming tricks, I wanted to just like do a trick that really just excited me, which is like tricks with a lot of wow factor, where it's kind of like explosive or like catches your eye because it's just kind of backwards or it's just kind of different. So I think seeing Benjamin Flo, who I got inspired by because he's creative, and then Nick Labar, like I was watching his videos a lot. So
and transferring that like style from rollerblading to Kendama.
Yeah, it was definitely in my mind at the beginning, but then like as the years went, I just kind of like became that sort of with my tricks. Like I just really enjoyed expressing myself that way.
Yeah. Was the crop shop back in the day, was it somewhat competitive? Like, were you, I mean, nowadays Kendama is like the most like, hey, get your first spike, like, oh, that's super sick, even when tricks like aren't that sick, you're like, yeah, super sick. And back in the day with Benji there, and then of course Rolf, was it like pushing you to kind of impress people?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was the competitiveness of it that pushed me, but just the fact that they were so ridiculously good. Yeah. That made me want to just like, I want to be like that. Like, it's so cool how good they are and make it look so fun. There was two kids in particular that where I feel like you should go back and try at some point watch their clips because they were new age tricks before a lot of people. Like back when Mikey Schelling was like really high level with instas and taps and stuff like that, they were kind of at that same level too. So I was like seeing it live. But yeah, Jonathan and Eigil, they were just super high.
Jonathan.
Yeah, well, Jonathan,
same name. Okay,
same name.
Jonathan and
Eigil, yeah, they were ridiculous. We called them the alien kids because
really?
they were just so good. They got like sponsorships from China, like super early on, like this brand called Pakfuk Kendama or
How
something.
old were they?
They were like 13 and 14.
Oh shit!
They're just ridiculously good. And then they got older and got into dating girls or whatever, I guess, and didn't play much.
Something that we never experienced.
Yeah, they were like way better than exactly. They were better than Rolf in the beginning, I would say.
Really?
Like so I think he was like.
Is Rolf gonna appear?
If we mention him enough times, he'll turn up.
So, who else was? Who were the best players back in the day?
So I'd definitely say Jonathan and Eigil.
So these were like the new, those rippers that come out. Even now, there's rippers that are young, like Kendama Jacob, remember? And Benji, Ben from Kusa.
Yeah.
It was like an old-fashioned version of those.
Yeah, I would say so.
But I guess that's how Dylan Westmoreland started, right? And then remember those Kusa kids back in the day?
Yeah.
Our most best players.
Yeah, I think they were our Danish version of that. Yeah. But they never just like, they didn't feel like they maybe they felt like they completed Kendama early on and just kind of stopped. They were like, we're too good at this.
Wow,
but
that's so cool.
They were ridiculous. I can't believe how good they would have been today.
I've never heard of them either.
No, like we can try and find them online at some point.
But a new version of that for Denmark was sort of Fred and Christopher.
Yeah, definitely. They became like the.
Like maybe a few years later, they were the kids.
Yeah. Fred. Where I was working at a boarding school. Yeah. Where I was. Playing Kendama all the time, and Fred's dad worked at the boarding school too, so he would bring his son to work like a lot of times because he had these full day shifts. So I was just walking around the school like with my Kendama around me playing, and he saw it, so he started because of that.
Because of you.
Yeah, and then like every time he came, him and I just played Kendama, little 13-year-old Fred. Yeah. And now he's like the best player in Denmark, you know. Yeah. So
I remember like a few years ago you claimed that he's the best player in Europe.
Yeah,
so I think it was a pretty substantial claim that.
Yeah, but I think
he was. If you go back to Fred's clips, he's so low key. He was never in your face, but he was hitting like handle straight to 3-tap to handle. Something like comes to my mind. 2017.
I remember that as well. Yeah, well,
and Flo too, right?
That guy is the most diverse player. Like he has everything on lock, and that claim of him being the best in Europe, like. maybe I'm not remembering everyone right now, but it still might be the case.
Yeah.
Because if you see Fred post a trick, like he is not going full force at all.
No.
He simply doesn't have that need to show the best that he can do.
Yeah.
But if he gets pushed, like I mean, he got 18th at World Cup one year.
Right.
So if he really goes for it and really grinds, he is as good as any new age kid. Like he is ridiculously good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to go through the people and the personalities because there's more coming to mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's more for you too. So I didn't hear about those two young kids, but obviously, who are the older, more OG-ish? So you have Torkil,
Mm-hmm.
Rolf, Benji,
Mm-hmm.
and then who were some of the older guys that you looked up to from the beginning? That were really good.
So Torkil and Philip, the owners of Chrome, obviously, they weren't there every Saturday, but oftentimes they would swing by and join in for the sesh. Then there was a guy called Jacob. We call him Branna Jakob, which means burner Jacob, because he would always bring his burning kit and make burns on our cans. He was awesome. He was a high-level yo-yoer, so he had a lot of yo-yo-inspired string tricks. And Emil Weilgaard, you met him at our jam, the guy who came with the dog.
Yep.
Yeah, he was super OG personality too, and he was really good at string tricks early on. He taught me a lot.
Okay.
I looked up to him a lot. I'm sure there's more people that's kind of... Matthias Steen, who was the first Chrome Pro. Yeah. He didn't come that often to the sessions, I remember, but when he did, it was like I was kind of starstruck because he was just that good. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys had a really good scene in Denmark.
Yeah.
Especially compared to similar sized countries, because it's a small country.
Yeah, straight up.
I mean, compared to like a big country like France or whatever, like you guys had something special for some reason in Denmark.
Yeah. Also, I feel like it was Torkil and Philip obviously had that Kendama hunger after also having started a brand. But Torkil is a very unique individual with a very unique expression, and I think that was shining through his Kendama plate. And I think a lot of that Danish style, whatever, comes from Torkil. A lot of it, at least. Yeah,
he's the originator.
Yeah.
But it's actually really interesting that if you think about there's so many Danish players, and especially back in the day, there was so much Danish Kendamas scene, community, but it probably is only it's nothing special with Denmark or Danish people. It just has to do with the amount of people that were playing and pushing it, And so if you think that could happen anywhere, obviously it has in Europe and stuff, but no people or country or anybody in the world are immune to Kendama. If you have somebody there and you push it, then it's like these Christopher Holtmans and these Freds would never have been created. Without Torkil and you and
it makes me think of what Franza is doing in the Czech Republic also. Like how many people, young kids, look up to him and are adapting his style onto their play. So it just takes some of these people to set an example.
It's a proven fact that without Franza in Czech Republic, you wouldn't have these young rippers. They're not posting much on Instagram, but we saw Czech Republic slayers.
Absolute rippers.
And there's these kids that are 12 years old who can just maybe do a juggle after years of playing, but when it comes to string flow, that one kid comes to mind. Name, but string flow is just out of this world, better than most American string flow players. Just the tech and everything. You know who else came to mind was Markus. Remember that young kid Markus?
Markus. Oh, I feel bad for not even mentioning him.
I forgot about him. And when I first was visiting Denmark in 2017-ish, he came in a few times, and I followed him on Instagram. But he was one of the new gen players that was so good.
He was so good.
Yeah.
So stylish too. So low key.
Yeah. You guys had a lot of cool steeziness in Denmark. I guess it came from Torkil.
Kendama wise, a lot of it came from Torkil, but I think it's also a very Copenhagen-y thing to be stylish. A lot of young people in Copenhagen have super sick clothing style and
stand out that way.
Yeah, and it's all about finding your artsy outlet that you can express yourself through. And I guess for those kids, they were like, oh, I can be sick as fuck through Kendama.
This is my thing. Okay, so you were kind of finding your style through influences like Benji, but a lot of your flow is, I guess your main string flow is obviously stuff that you've added to since then on your own, but the basis of it is Copenhagen style, right? Danish
100%.
style.
Yeah, 100%.
Can you name a few concepts specifically? Two-hand wraps,
Yeah.
string wraps, the way it's done, right?
So, the pizza bounce, of course, Torquil and Philip have been doing that forever.
Yeah.
That's one that comes to mind. Torquil's like this one,
Yeah.
the toilet paper, I think he called it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the official name, but yeah, Torquil was doing that one. Took forever to learn. Anything mini, like mini swirls, like tapping back and forth in mini, came from Benjamin.
Okay.
And then there's like little variations of things, like because there were so many people good at string, and everyone had their own little thing they added to the thing.
Yeah.
Like Christopher Holdman, he did so much stuff that to this day I never learned it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wish I could still like sesh with him all the time to learn some of these things.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, hand wraps.
Yeah.
Saw Benji do those a lot.
So you have you always been consistently playing, especially back in the day, like 2013 when you found it? Were you just grinding daily?
Yeah.
Were there breaks you took?
No, I never really took a break. I think the maximum time I've had away from a kendama is like a few weeks.
Yeah.
But no, I've loved it from the beginning. Even to this day.
Yeah.
And especially now after you have moved here, like kendama means something in a new way, and just it keeps like refreshing itself and becoming something new.
Yeah.
And I keep appreciating it in new ways. Like it just keeps being around me.
Yeah.
But back in the day, I was like, I remember not being able to fall asleep, and I would get up and practice lunar flips in my boxers in the middle of the night.
Really?
Yeah. I was just always kept kendama close.
Yeah.
Never really. Well, sometimes after a competition where it's like a full weekend of just playing kendama, I would have to just put it away for a few days, but it wouldn't be long before I would just get back to it. I think I kind of have like an ADHD type personality where I need to keep my hands busy.
Yeah. Kendama's perfect for that.
It's perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you remember first of your early trick grinds? Those big tricks that you were going for?
No, not really. Depends on how far we go back. One is it was on like Givadama, which makes it kind of like less easy. Less hard. Was 1, 2, 3 inward lunar backflips, but like I probably wouldn't count it because it was on that kendama.
Back in the day, you did that.
Yeah, I remember that was a trick where I would like put a few hours into it and not get it and go back to it.
Yeah.
So I guess it's still sick because it took me so long, even though it was with that kendama. That's like one of the first ones that come to mind.
Do you remember your first like bird juggle bird, your first lighthouse flip, your first whirlwind?
Yeah, that kind of all.
Just blended together.
Yeah, it's all memories with Fisherman Crew because we would always sesh together.
Yeah.
So it's always like standing in a circle with them, just then I hit it. Yeah. But like if we move a little further down, there was like double border balance flip. I remember being hyped on.
Yeah.
What
year was that?
Good question. I'm not sure. It's on the IG, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, just go back.
I can't remember. Maybe it was. I think it was like probably 17 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
When did you get put on Chrome?
I think 16.
Yeah.
16.
Okay.
I think I'm not too good with remembering like when things happened. I don't have like a chronological overview of a lot of the events in the history, you know. But yeah.
But remember how it happened? What happened?
Yeah. So the way I kind of got into doing stuff for Chrome was I was at a Saturday session, playing kendama with like any other Saturday, and all of a sudden Philip Eltridge just kind of like opens the door into the shop, and he's like, "All right, guys, listen up. Right now I have Torquil and Matthias in Berlin at this Japanese festival where they're supposed to sell kendamas and like display it through a performance and everything. But something had gone wrong with the shipping, so they never received their orders. So they had no kendamas or anything to sell at this. It was a pretty big deal, you know, back in the day, because it was a pretty big event in Berlin. And he said, is there anyone here over the age of 18 who's down to send it to Germany in a few hours with 2 suitcases full of kendama? I didn't even think. I just raised my hand like, I'll do it. And then another homie called Emil, aka Gargamel, it was his nickname. He, who also older than 18, he joined me. So him and I got on a bus together a few hours later with a lot of product and went down and met Torkil and Matthias. And then they invited us to do a performance on stage with them, and which was just so much fun. So we sold Kendamas and played on that stage for a weekend. And then I remember afterwards, I was just kind of like, I was in, kind of, because I had done some stuff.
You weren't just a kid anymore.
Yeah.
Like a crop shop dude.
Yeah, exactly. And then at the same time, I was obviously getting better and better, and grinding, and maybe I've posted some little edits with tops and stuff. But the thing is, like, me getting on Chrome, there was never a question like, hey, Markus, do you want to be on Chrome?
Yeah.
I remember one day it was like we were talking about like updating the roster or something, talking about these are our pros, these are the chromies. And I was part of the conversation, and they just said, or pro, and Markus, and you're on the Chromie team. So I was just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm on the Chromie team now.
But you were hyped.
Yeah, super hyped, super hyped. And then not too long after that, I can't remember exactly when, but I started working in the shop as well. Yeah. So I started doing what used to be Rolf's job, to be there every Saturday. I think in the beginning I was just covering for him. And then
when I first met you, one of the first times that you were doing that for the Fredericksburg shop. Yeah, you're closing up and everything. You had the keys, we'd go there and jam and everything.
Yep.
Ping pong table.
Yeah, good times.
So you got in the Chromie team, but then when did Chrome get really big, especially globally? The Slay Dog.
I mean, when the Slay Dog dropped, for sure, some stuff happened.
Were you repping Chrome hard back in the day?
If I was?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
You wanted to be on the team and you liked it and it was a cool brand.
I would say I never played with the intention of getting on the team. Yeah. In my head, it's like, oh, that's not going to happen. Maybe some little sponsor would pick me up if I were to go for a sponsorship. But I'd like to say that I was never really that motivated by a sponsorship. I just really liked playing Kendama. But always playing Chrome. I thought they had the coolest Kendamas. I thought they had the coolest team. And then later, when the Slay Dog came and Bonds and Fish came on the team, like Chrome was just like making some big moves, and I thought it was just so sick to take part in. Yeah.
I didn't know of Chrome until I saw that B-Day mod. I saw Cam Herrero doing crazy lunar stuff on
the 6-year one, like the turquoise green one, or
it was like pink and purple maybe.
Oh yeah,
And I remember just like the hype around that Kendama, of course, it being bigger, but then also just people saying how good it was at Lunars. It was like expensive. I'm like, no, I didn't buy it. But maybe it was sold out. But that was probably 17-ish. And that's like people say that's like when shapes started getting bigger, right? Do you remember that time?
I remember that time. I remember playing some samples in the shop.
Yeah.
And just being like, this is
the new thing.
This is a brand new game all of a sudden. And maybe that's the time I've grinded the hardest in Kendama was after the Slay Dog came, just because of the game was more fun, because everything was just possible. And I started upping my lunar game a lot. And
wow.
Yeah. Then I filmed some edits for my YouTube channel and stuff because now I had the Slay Dog, so anything is possible, kind of.
Yeah. And then, I think it was Kendama Co. went down. Crom wasn't this big thing though globally. I think it was still this kind of unique European kind of weird brand, and mostly in Europe. But then I remember hearing a story about Torkil beating Bonds, and then like talking to Bonds, and Bonds was like, yeah, maybe. And then Torkil gave him the shape, and then Bonds was like, holy shit, And of course, Bonds is like kind of the forefront, and he was like, yeah, I'm down, and everyone's like, what the fuck? But then Jake came on board, and then pretty quickly the next 3 years, Crom, with the right leadership of Torkil, they grew to a huge company, but also like just to be reminiscent and nostalgic about the old Chrome, they created the sickest brand when it came to videos and style and everything about that.
Yeah,
Those
definitely.
were kind of the golden ages.
Yeah, that was beautiful
17
times.
to 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they were just killing it on so many fronts,
Yeah.
like team wise, the product wise, like
The products were just beautiful.
and their visuals and edits and just like I felt like there was so much personality in it.
Yeah.
I think Torkil later has referred to it as technochrome,
Yeah.
which I think kind of fits.
That was the thing, the
Yeah.
Technochrome. Because even like, obviously it's changed a lot recently, but as you guys know, but last 2 years as they were going more pop, no pun intended, they were going more, they changed their logo to that blue logo, they're going more big, not family oriented, but a little bit more pushing the subscribers. Like before that, there was that time, 17 to 20, where like, the first edit that comes to mind is that Bonds edit, like one of my favorite edits in Copenhagen.
The pro edit, right?
The pro edit. It might have been the pro edit, but just like the visuals and the cut scenes before that was so trippy and cool. And for any video person, it's just like so incredible. And of course, they got the best of Bonds, who at the time was the best.
Yeah.
I mean, he just was so special.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me find the edit real quick. I want to see what edit it was.
I think it's the like Bonsatron Chrome Pro edit with like a lot of pink visuals.
It was definitely like when he was bouncing on a rope. This guy. Yeah.
Oh, such a good video.
You guys, you won't watch the whole thing, but like, I just want to kind of watch.
And he yells, kicks the dog. So sick.
And like this music that kicks in, and then it's going through my headphones, but making Kendama look so cool.
Yeah.
And then if you look at these like visuals, dude.
Yeah, that's
how crazy is that?
So that's Emil Boda, who's like in the era of Chrome, is such an important guy to mention as well, because he was the guy behind everything.
Yeah.
Actually, he had one of these like prisms, like these diamond shaped like things that he was like filming that through. These are those visuals. Yeah, he was super.
So that was Emil doing all this.
Yeah, this kid is like the most talented kid ever. He like does music, a lot of art stuff, and obviously a lot of video. He played such a big part of Chrome having that sick expression. Yeah, he was a big part of that. Torkil's good friend at the time, at least. Yeah.
So you were not only on Chrome, but you were on the team the longest. You know, not the longest, but compared to most people who were on Chrome. What was it like on the inside, being in Copenhagen, being by the store, seeing it grow, from your perspective?
I mean, it was awesome. It was, what can I say? It was, especially during the drop of the Sleigh Dog.
Yeah.
It was just you could really feel that around the place Chrome had something cooking. And it was really cool to. I didn't take part in it in the process of designing any new product or what Chrome were supposed to do going forward. I was just kind of repping and then just being around. My job was just mainly being in charge of the shop.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, no doubt about it. It was sick to be around when things were so much on the up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when kind of going back through your history, then taking a step back to like events. You remember your first event, Kendama?
I think it was
like mini jams.
Yeah, there was
7 Spikes.
There was a jam called Ice Jam in the Chrome shop. Okay. Which is also the first event I've won. Which was just a freestyle battle. And that's the first one that comes to mind. Okay. And then Chrome started sending me out to a lot of events. Like it was like really consistently. Sometimes it was like an event every week. This
was post sponsorship.
No, that was kind of when I was like on the team, but like hadn't been asked or they hadn't been spoken out loud. Like I was getting hooked up with product and stuff like this. Okay. Because
you were. Yeah, I guess your personal ability, you were significant and you were impressing people. Yeah. And people were hyping the shop, but also on Instagram. You were posting on Instagram.
Yeah, definitely. Repping on Instagram. Oh, one an event that comes to mind is it's called Downspike Tournament. Okay. Which was taking place in Münster in Germany. Okay. Which that's where I really met a lot of awesome people outside of Denmark with playing Kendama. It was like this big Chrome trip that I felt so blessed to take part in. Met a lot of the European homies for the first time at that event. For example, Ole from Kendama Israel. And in the beginning, a lot of the events were taking place in Germany. Yeah. So there was Kendama Clash in Berlin. There was Damarama in Hamburg. Yeah. Was that what you were meaning with that question? Yeah.
So your first few events. And this is where the European OGs were coming about. Because especially back then, like I think it's more connected now recently with the US and Europe, but maybe that's only because I moved here, so maybe now I know all the events. Yeah. But it was pretty like separated, where you had like the big events, like MKO, but there wasn't a big event until kind of EKC in Copenhagen 2019.
Yeah, well, there wasn't like any events with
Americans going to?
No, of the size where Americans would come. Like there was some exceptions, I think. Back even before my time, there was like your EKO in Copenhagen, where I know Rod and Keith Matsumura came. They but then like after that, no, there wasn't. It was mainly like just the European homies just chilling with each other at these events. But they were the sickest. Like the European events are just the sickest.
Why were they so sick?
They were very like connected, and like I've been telling you, like the competitive nature of the people in Europe is, I guess, way more down to earth. No one like you can go through the whole day of competition and get a little tipsy in the evening, and no one even remembers who won the event. Like
really,
yeah, like
I can't imagine that as an
I remember when in Nashville for battle, like just people sweating in the corners, just absolutely grinding their ass off for the comp. Like you won't see that in Europe.
Small events.
Everyone like are surprised when they get called up on stage. They're a little stoned or a little drunky, you know, like, just very chill. Wow. It's much more just a hangout session. The competition feels like an excuse to hang out more than it's about winning. Yeah. Which I personally like a lot.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I've only been to a few events, but I haven't noticed that in Europe, but maybe that's just because I am the competitive American that's there.
That could be, but
like also I don't notice everybody else chilling. But I've only been to EKC, which is obviously pretty global. Yeah. I haven't really been to.
No, but I'm sure you will eventually, and you'll know what I talk about.
Kenfest, I guess.
Kenfest is like the perfect example. Yeah. Because it's just like tipsy people playing games of Ken. Yeah. You'll see some of the best players in the community just kind of chilling, like, I don't want to play anymore. Bro, you gotta play Ken games to win. I don't know.
And they just want to talk and chill. Yeah. So you're kind of being sent to events. Who were in Europe? Who were the most significant players? Who were the best players back in the day?
Rolf, of course, is a name that has to be mentioned because he, for a lot of years, just dominated all European events. Yeah. There's definitely a few other guys. There was Joris, who used to be on Kendama USA. Joris Schwepp. Yeah. He was such a good Kendama player. Yeah. A few years later, Theo came on the scene, but he was kind of like back when Rolf was dominating. There was like before Theo got ridiculously good, but later, Theo. And a few of the Chrome homies that came out for events as well.
But I guess it was a lot of. Denmark was a really big. That's so sneaky. Denmark was a really big. I guess Danish players were like some of the best.
Yes. Yeah. But like, there's so many people in my head right now that like it's all blurring together. I know there's so many names I could mention that aren't coming. Like Rob Henman. From I think you met him on the EU tour.
Yeah. Rob from Scotland.
Yeah, exactly. Like he used to be. He's a competitive dude, and he was like good back in the day. Like him and Rolf had like this little vendetta going against each other. It was kind of like
they're kind of like both bald, but like opposite sides.
It was like the most interesting matchup. What are these two doing?
Yeah. They brothers like.
I definitely remember being to a few events where it would either be Rob or Rolf winning the event.
Rob or Rolf.
Yeah, Rob and Rolf. Oh, it's such a...
Everyone's just like chill, and Rob and Rolf are just going so hard.
Yeah.
So what was Rolf's domination like?
Well, he was...
Well, first of all, is it true? Did Rolf dominate Europe?
Yes. 100%.
Okay.
I would say, like, if he was coming out to an event, I think everyone in the crowd knew, like, okay, Rolf is grinded.
Yeah.
Rolf is most likely to be the winner of this event, and but yeah. So he was just excellent. He's an excellent competitor. He's really great at keeping his cool.
Yeah.
He's really unfazed when it comes to competition, or he was back in the day at least. Not like he didn't get nervous, didn't get shaky like I would a lot of the time. So yeah, he either freestyle or open. There was just a really big chance that Rolf would win, and yeah, he would most of the time.
Yeah.
They're just absolutely killing it.
How many years did that last?
Oh, dude, I don't really know.
See, a lot of years.
Yeah, the thing is, I just don't really pay that much attention. Like, I know you can name probably every World Cup winner or something. I can't. I said, like, that information doesn't really stick, to be honest.
I guess it was probably around the time when Kron was sending you to these events, and then after you got sponsored, you were being sent to events, and Rolf was going too.
Yeah, him and I would travel a lot together.
And then, so between those times, when Rolf would go, he would usually win.
Yeah. Like, every now and then I would get one over on him.
Which, how many times have you beaten Rolf?
There's maybe 3, but there's 2 for sure that comes to mind.
Yeah.
So
we'll just say 3 or 4.
Yeah, let's say 5.
Yeah, 5 times. All right, gotcha.
Yeah.
We're just, again, trying to get Rolf on an interview here.
Yeah. but yeah, it was freestyle, by the way. I don't think I've beaten him in open.
Yeah. Which I know he would be like, you for sure haven't beaten me in open?
Yeah. Oh, if he was on here right now, he would be correcting
what
the
do you
fuck
mean?
out of me.
So with Crom, you were on the team for a while, and that was kind of, when do you think you were really like the most popping off? Because you haven't been on Instagram recently because you've been working on an edit.
Mm-hmm.
But when were you popping off on Instagram? I don't want to ask you for another year, but just like, do you remember the times when like you were really feeling good about Kendama and going really hard and like getting a lot of?
I would say in 2020, on the last day of 2020, I put out Lender Lingo.
Yeah, it's crazy that was that long ago.
Mm-hmm. So I would say during that time for filming, I was feeling Kendama really hard. I was feeling the creative juices flowing a lot.
Yeah.
But I would also say maybe like back in 18 and then up to 20.
Yeah.
Where I was hitting some of the tricks that I'm the happiest to have hit.
Yeah.
Just posting on Instagram and placing well and doing decent in a handful of competitions. Around that time.
Yeah. I mean, if we were to look at like reception from the community on Instagram, looking at number of comments or number of like, you didn't really have views or likes back then because you couldn't see them on Instagram. But I remember just whenever you would post, it was usually something that like, and even to this day, you just post something that really hasn't been done. It's something that you've been working on in your own head that you're kind of like sharing with people, and it's getting very popular, you know? And it's always kind of been like that. But I'm trying to think of the first time I kind of interacted with you on Instagram, the first time I watched you. But regardless, you've always been this kind of person who I guess is comparable to other players, maybe Benji, which makes sense because he's an inspiration. But yeah, I guess there's just certain players. Should I group you in with like other players? Who's been your biggest inspirations?
Obviously, Benji is one of the first ones that comes up, but that is mainly for the string part of my game, because like that explosiveness or wow factor came a little bit more from actually that guy, the rollerblader I mentioned, Nick Labar, because he was like very with his tricks. Yeah. But if Kendama players like Ben Harold for sure. Yeah. Because like his creativity was just so unmatched. Yeah.
With Fringe Case. When I'm thinking back about this, it's so crazy. I think that probably dropped in 2019. And it's like, it seems so recently when I say 2019, but it was actually 4 years ago. Yeah, time moves fast. Yeah, it's kind of crazy it's that long ago because that edit is so fresh in memory still. Yeah. It's like everything feels so much fresher when now 2019 is the same distance from 2019 to like 2015, I guess, right? It's so crazy. Yeah. 2023.
Yeah, true.
So Ben Harrell, but who else?
Well, I would say I kind of have a handful of different tricks in my style.
Yeah.
And auto spikes and stuff like that, I don't really think I had, like, someone inspired me to do auto spikes. I think it was just, I knew they existed and I got attracted to them.
Yeah.
A lot of times if I will come up with a trick, it's just like figuring out funky ways to spike it in a what the hell kind of way.
Yeah, okay.
And oftentimes I don't really notice the process of it. It just sort of happens.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Yeah, you can come in. Yeah, you close the door.
Go ahead.
So, what is your process of creating a trick? Especially because you've been working on an edit for a little bit, but also in lingo. Oh, am I talking too loud?
I'm good.
Okay. You want to say hi to the camera?
Shout out Cecilia.
Yeah.
Hi.
Alright, so good.
So good.
What's your process of a trick? How do you come up with this crazy shit?
A lot of times it's just fiddling around with stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know how you, like, let's say you're having a talk with someone and you just kind of mindlessly string around your hands. I would just sort of do that and then just kind of notice, okay, something, like, there could be something here. Like, you can exit into this in a funny way, or if you swing it like that, the spike should be coming around.
Yeah.
And then it's just like you pick up little ideas here and there, and then you start piecing them together. That's definitely one way, but I would say the process is different a lot of the times. Other times there's one specific concept where I just have this feeling like there is definitely something sick, like, hidden here. You just keep messing around with it, pinching it funky places, or trying to, and then they appear. I also, like, sometimes, a lot of times it's without even with the kendama in the hand. It just kind of comes into the head. Yeah. But it's like, I can't really pinpoint exactly where it comes from, and it's rarely the same process that happens again and again.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, it just kind of comes.
Yeah, I relate to the first thing that you said, which is just like, you know, when you're talking to somebody, playing with your kendama, you're doing stuff that you know really well that's like deep in your brain.
Yeah.
But if you like watch yourself do it from this third person point of view, you can kind of see like, okay, I have this down so well, but like, what if I just move something right here? If I just watch myself do this, and that's part of your process.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's hard to say exactly what happens, to be honest.
Yeah, gotcha. So what was it like joining Lotus? Not that I have anything to do with it.
Dude, joining Lotus, it has been incredible. Obviously, you and I had a call where we were talking about the potential of it happening, and first of all, I've been super stoked on you as a kendama player and as a friend and just like a company owner in general. Really like the way you've been doing things. Yeah. And so I wasn't feeling like I should be with Chrome anymore, and then you came, and it just felt like very organic. It didn't feel like it was pushed or anything. And when you and I had that phone call back in the day, I just had a really good gut feeling about it. It just felt like the move. And ever since I got on, it has been the absolute best move I could have made. I really feel at home. I love everyone on the team so much. I think we have the sickest team. And I really like, not to sweet talk you right in front of me, but like I love the way you do your thing. And I love how everyone on the team is very involved with a lot of the things that is going on. Everyone has a voice, and our opinions really matter. And you rarely make any moves without being like, hey team, what do you think about this? Maybe you have some ideas, maybe you have a thought of something I haven't thought of. And it feels like the perfect platform for me as a kendama lover to do my thing. And being at Lotus, I feel like I can really contribute in a very organic way, where I don't have to fit into any kind of box or strive for absolute greatness. And like organic is the word I keep coming back to. It just feels
usual and normal.
And I love it, especially like all the sick moves we've been doing recently and all the sick stuff that we have so much sick stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Like if people only knew.
Yeah, I know, right?
And the whole like obviously with you living here in Copenhagen, I'm very close to everything that goes on, and I just love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like making the element shape?
Oh, that was first of all like ridiculously cool being part of the process behind the scenes, because you know if Kusa or Sweetser Chrome comes out with something now, we're like, oh, that like you just see it and boom, there's something new. But taking part of the process, being a part of it, has been really cool. Also, again, an example of where you really listen to the players, because pretty much everyone has been involved. Their thoughts and feelings have been taken into consideration. And I feel like we made a really, really good product. That that's the only thing I want to play now. Like it's just a perfectly balanced shape. That's
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's funny. I don't remember I mean, I guess you were added in 2022?
Yeah, that sounds right.
So almost a year ago.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah, but it also feels like it should have been like way longer. I feel like you've been on the team longer than that. But did I bring a prototype to? I think I did, right? And it came with the longer one.
Well, you had a few, I think.
Yeah.
I remember you gave me one with like just a natty ball,
and I
couldn't put it down. Like I think I competed with that Kendama.
Yeah.
Like no tracking on the tower or anything. It just felt so good in the hand. Yeah.
But that wasn't even the final thing, I don't think.
No, that was like.
I thought we were done and we were like not even close.
Dude, I think we had. Didn't we go like 3 or 4? Prototypes more before arriving at the finish?
I mean, we didn't. So the battle was in that January, so a few months later. Battle we didn't even have the final shape. We had almost something worse than the one in a KO.
When did you? There was one you shipped to both to Franta and me. When did that happen?
Was that before battle?
Oh, I'm struggling to remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember, we were really close by the time we got to. I forget in battle what we were playing. I think it was relatively close, but then obviously.
Yeah. Well, it was after battle. I went to Jack's woodshop in New York, right?
That's
so
right.
I think we were pretty much done, but we had like final tweaks at battle. Yeah. And then we went to Jack's and we finished it up. Yeah,
that's when you really talked about shortening it, I think. Because I had it too long. Yeah. And then that's when the lunar balance and everything just kind of slid into place.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember at that specific night we were talking about the base cut rim. Yeah. Also the little transition from.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, there was a talking. Handle. Yeah, exactly. There was a talking point. And then I think Jack, he made one that we brought to the New Jersey sesh. Yeah. And then I brought that home with me. Yeah. And I think that was the final product.
And then we went to the factory.
Yeah,
I think get the PDOX ready.
Yes, I think that's how it went down.
Yeah. It's crazy that Jack started the hand turns then.
Yeah.
And then since then, because they take so long to make, since then we got a bunch produced, we got PDOX produced. Yeah. At the factory, sold them, and all the hand turns are coming out.
Yeah, now Jack is back.
Yeah, Jack is back.
With the new drop that he absolutely killed. Yeah, shout out Jack for real. What a talented.
It was awesome finding the new shape.
Yeah.
Wait, so, I mean, I don't want to brag about the shape, but I do hear you often when we're session, we spin session way too much every day. But you just will, and this makes me super happy that you like it so much, but you just be like, yeah, this is the sickest shape. Yeah. You know that there's something that you're doing, whether it's transitioning between different styles of play. But did you imagine where shapes were going back when you were playing, originally?
Oh, you're thinking pre-Slay Dog?
Yeah, or even during your Chrome days, where you just kind of given shapes and then you're yeah, this is cool, this is okay, I like this, I like that.
Well, I definitely knew that stuff was going to change with shapes because it was pretty obvious. Every time you stepped into Torkill's office, some new funky prototype would be laying out there. It was really hard to keep your hands off. So much cool stuff came through that shop. I don't know. I don't think I gave it much thought. Yeah. But I think after the Slay Dog dropped, it was pretty obvious that all right, Kendama is definitely evolving. Yeah.
We can make this way easier.
Yeah.
Like,
Straight up. But it makes sense. Like you
Yeah.
want to create the best product
Yeah.
you can to optimize possibilities. Like I
Mhm.
think that guess that happens in every industry, right? Sure, it's the same thing with golf clubs.
yeah, shoes and everything.
Yeah, tennis rackets and whatever.
Yeah,
Like there's always like everything's evolving.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
But yeah, I wonder where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you think?
so you think it's gonna get bigger, right?
I kind of like bigger stuff, but
Yeah.
I've been thinking about different materials.
Mm.
I mean, wood is very special, but like,
Mm.
there were wooden golf clubs back in the day. There were
Really?
wooden bats back in the day.
Yeah.
Everything was wood.
So you think you're gonna end up with metal kendamas? Just all playing
Or
aluminum?
there's some, maybe, I don't know, maybe some sort of different material. But wood is just so special, I can't imagine anything that would tack.
No.
And metal often, usually is a little too heavy or
Yeah.
it's like too light, you know.
Yeah. I wonder if like some like really like they figure out the right way to make a plastic kendama.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be tuned more
Yeah.
to I don't know. I don't want it. Like one of the things I love about dama is
Yeah.
like feels so natural holding a
know.
piece of wood. Like I love it. Also it's so beautiful how it kind of breaks down
Yeah,
and you have to like say goodbye to your beloved setup.
I know, it's the coolest thing. That is
But-
the tree.
But maybe I can imagine like just oh shit, it wasn't strung up. One like just maybe like inserting things into
Yeah.
the thing to optimize
Yeah.
certain things. Maybe screwing pieces on and off,
Yeah.
different booty holes, different. Like I'm sure there's little things that we haven't thought of that will be like obvious. Like
Yeah.
obviously this is the direction
Yeah,
it will
we're
take
thinking that. Yeah.
because
Screwing stuff in,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, but it's going to be exciting. I'm probably not the right one to speak on it because I don't think much about it.
Yeah, you just take whatever you have. Should we? I kind of want to go through some of your Instagram clips.
Sure. I'm down.
Yeah, bounces first.
What up, Bonds?
Should we go to your channel or your Instagram?
Yeah, I think that's where most of it would be for sure. Shout out Fisherman Crew.
These lights look really sick.
Yeah, that's at my old apartment.
Did you rollerblade?
No, I skateboarded.
You skateboarding?
Yeah, I have
You're the
just
cool kid in the crew.
skate clips in there.
So this is the crew.
Yeah, that's the crew.
You guys look like a little boy band.
Little Christian rock band.
Yeah. You look like Alex here, man. It's crazy.
What?
You look like Alex. Your brother.
Well, I'm wearing a chrome hat on that picture too.
Alright. Mala.
Let's go.
I haven't been on Instagram like this now.
Oh really? I'm disappointed.
You've been waiting for me to do this. Oh, remember that? This isn't your account.
Yeah, dude.
That was a
Best
great memory.
memories. Dude, that
It was so hyped because
fun
you were
weekend.
Chrome, I was Lotus, but we were like really good friends.
Yeah, remember like you came to Copenhagen
Yeah.
and then you were seeing Cecilia's family
Yeah.
and then you were saying you were going to an event and I'm like, wait, I'm going to an event.
Yeah.
And it just turns out we had like the same flight or whatever to the same event.
Yeah.
Ended up kicking it all weekend.
And we rented a houseboat,
Yeah.
which you see here, and then
Gooning
that
around
was
with
so fun. Dude, with Franta was such a
Yeah.
blast. Remember Franta getting nervous before the flight,
Yeah.
just freaking out.
That was the first
There's-
time I met Franta also, I think.
This one of these tricks is super sick. Oh yeah. Dude, I'm a beast.
7 seconds.
Rescue. Franta, I feel like they're so young here. This was so fun too, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you forgot it. Oh yeah, my first
Little-
one too. You get them all?
Yeah, Franta too. Little friendship tattoo.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got them all. Like, all right.
Yeah, that apparently used to be like a nickname of his.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
that's right. It was like a weird coincidence.
We
right?
both have that nickname. Yeah.
All right, we're moving on back. Uh-oh.
Oh, we're going deep.
This is you?
Yes,
This looks exactly like Alex. Does this not look like Alex?
I guess. I mean,
Markus has a roommate, which is your brother,
stepbrother.
step half brother,
Yeah. This is
and You guys aren't biologically related, but you guys look exactly alike.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Should we just keep going?
Oh, I don't know. Am I supposed to say stop?
No, I don't know.
What kind of trick are we looking for?
Whatever pops in your brain. Dude, look at this guy. Look at the Lord of the Rings character.
Oh, Rolf. That's a bulk moment right there. But this was in 16. Yeah, this was back when my lunar game was like getting a lot better because of the Slater, which is like too good.
Oh, you look so young. Yeah, you lace in some light flips, a lot of juggles.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't seen you do a juggle spin like that in a long time. This was one of my first Crump Kendamas.
The Pelle.
This is really got me.
This was way back.
Tops?
Yeah.
Cute.
In King's Garden, where you and I sesh all the time now.
Dude, great trick, man. That's cool. Alright, let's get into some Markus schemy things. Do any of these come to mind of like...
Like, are you talking more like the Markus style with...
This was a pretty significant... Let's see like your popular clips.
some popular clips? Yeah, with this one, I don't know if it was...
Okay, triple X.
A little more maybe. Because this is just like...
Little beanie guy.
I was happy about that one at the time. Because in 17, like a triple spike tap.
Damn, bro.
I'm happy about that one.
Yeah, I have not hit that. We were racing delays that the other day.
Yeah, well, race delays now.
Bosses in town. This was probably when I was around there.
Yeah.
He had the high school graduation hat.
Yeah. Oh.
Sketchy. Was it balance bar?
Some instas.
Yeah. Yeah, your juggle game was like on point. I've never seen that clip actually. I've never seen this clip.
The 1, 2, 3.
Oh, this was the 1, 2, 3. Dude. Yeah, this must have been a popular clip, yeah? Is this the first one ever done?
No, I got so into it because I saw Sam Cannon do it in a Give a Dama video. Shout out Sam Cannon, like he was inspirational.
Yeah.
Not so much for my own style, but just like wanting to do lunars and interesting combos because he was just so sick. He's like still one of my favorite players.
Maybe that, yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, shout out Kendama ISR.
This is a event.
From EKO in Poland.
Spike tap?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like creative.
I guess. I think
You're
like
kind of like branching out a little bit.
Yeah.
Is this your cron?
that's like just a video I made for my YouTube, just like only lunar tricks. Yeah.
Dude, I didn't know you. I mean, these are pretty like. I don't know how you say it, but like the usual meta of Kendama at the time.
Yeah,
and still to loons. That's what you were into.
Yeah, I was a lot of Insta, a lot of loons.
Yeah.
I also got into taps. Like in that video, there's like an inward lunar, 5-tap inward lunar, for example.
Yeah, I did not know that those were your original.
No, you've been
Gorgeous.
sleeping, bro.
But why are you giving me so much crap about doing taps and why are you so late for this stuff?
Because I'm over it now. I've evolved, bro. No, you keep doing what you do. Yeah. I was stoked. Like at
Dude,
the time.
you were just like doing these level ups, yeah.
Yeah,
I
720.
had no idea. Dude, Yui comment, let's go.
So I think like we're entering an era where it starts to get a little more.
Funky?
Yeah. I don't remember this one. Just a new school banger.
I remember hitting that for the first time. When was it, 2017? I think I hit that for him in 2018. So I'm slowly catching up.
Oh, this one was like heavily Bonds inspired. Right after he won the catch and flow.
Yeah.
I think he did that like on stage.
Yeah, MKO2 was one of his first things. That was with the Sure.
This one is like starting to get like a little more creative. Like it.
Whoa!
like a
I
little
remember
twang.
that, bro.
Yeah.
Baked trick. What does that mean? You're high.
Probably. No, just like a silly
we don't
idea.
do drugs on all this. Only if you smoke words. No boo. This is whack. Who's that? Mac? Remember Mac?
Yeah, shout out Mac. He
Yeah,
was
he's a
inspirational as
beast.
well. He was so sick.
Yeah.
Talk about style.
That is oh, this was super hype, dude. It's nice to see all these old comments. You know?
Yeah.
Tio. Oh, Tio making sure to mention that he said it.
Yeah, he ended up taking that Kendama back, that dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave me a grain theory, and then he got sponsored by Grain Theory and needed Davos to rep, and he took it back.
You get it, Tio?
Yeah, then claimed it back. Sorry, Tio,
Okay, man.
for calling you out.
There was a scene from Malcolm in the Middle. Did you see Malcolm in the Middle?
No.
It's like, have you heard of it?
No.
American show with these teenage boys and how rowdy they are. And this, for Mother's Day, the one like naughty kid, like the 13-year-old, was like, yeah, I got my mom for Mother's Day Dirt Bike magazine, and Mom, when you are done with it, just give it back to me because I'd love to read it, you know? Reminds me of that.
What a move.
Yeah. And Mom's like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, I was happy about that one back then.
Dude, that's sick.
Like a sideways yank type thing.
Yeah, this is definitely entering the.
Yeah, I think I'm adding some creativity to the whole thing. This one I was happy about, dude.
I kind of remember this.
An expansion of an old Philip Eldritch trick.
Ah, that's sick. What Dawn is that?
That's a Dawn, the Dawn I think it's called. Like one of the Chrome Deluxes, just like a natty, walnut and maple.
And this is when you start getting kind of like your own fan base.
I guess.
There's a lot of players. I mean, back in the day, it was like, oh, Markus is my favorite player. You know. All the girls loved you.
Shout out girls.
Here's the classic flow. Yeah, I get you moving around. And I know even now this is like super sick and flowy and cool, but I'm sure back in the day it was like.
Yeah, I guess because there wasn't
I
many.
feel the wind.
Oh, look at you! Shout out you for commenting back in 18.
What were you saying?
Yeah, just basically, I guess most of this kind of flow came out of Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Got into some knuckles.
That's so cool, man.
This one I was happy about. It's like my first ever inward goon trick, like candles grip.
Oh my
And then took
god,
the-
that's sick to bird! Yeah. Bro, get out of here, dude. Like, post this now and it's super hype. Super sick now, dude.
Yeah, maybe I should mess around with that again.
Or just AI yourself, like, looking like now, and then just getting killed with the hype.
This is what, like, I think my first auto spike type trick I posted.
Okay. Damn, that's sick. Tutorial.
Shout out him.
Man, I'm all over you. I didn't remember seeing that, but I commented.
Yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite Kendamas.
Yeah.
That Balf mod was just like the perfect Tama design at the time, I thought.
Yeah, the red.
It's so pretty.
I got the Bonds one at the time. This was when I was in DC.
That one was so good too.
Oh, here's the team, right?
Yeah.
Mac was on the team or no?
Yeah, Mac was on the team.
I didn't know that.
No, yeah, he was Chrome.
So he sent it out to Europe.
No, this is at MKO.
Okay.
Right, the year before it turned into an AKO, I think.
I didn't know Albert was the year before. Okay. For some reason, I thought Albert was a little bit after that.
No, I guess it was 18 he joined.
Is when Albert seemed like he just like kind of came out of nowhere, and then boom.
Well, yeah, in Europe, obviously, we knew about
Okay.
him. Like, we had seen him, like, tear it up at events.
Okay, maybe I just was late to the game.
Yeah.
Because I feel like and maybe I'm wrong, but I think like even American players were like NAKO 2020 when it was online. Is that the year before that, everyone was like, "Holy shit, who is this dude?" But
Yeah, I think it was 19 where
he went
he really melted everyone's minds on stages.
Yeah.
And yeah, then he had his win in 2020, I think.
What was it like having Fish on your team?
I liked Fish a lot. I loved when he came out to Denmark. Him and I had a really good vibe going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He kind of has like, I was gonna say like not your style, but now that I've seen your old Markus, I feel like a different side of you.
Yeah.
I mean, he was one of the new gen players that I like. He looked, they all looked at Fisher. Takuya,
Yeah.
he looked Jake Fisher. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, well, I would say like you play with me all the time. I do a lot of like taps and juggles and instas and lunars like still, but it's just more when I'm kind of by myself listening to my own kind of music flowing around that like that stringy creative stuff kind of happens. Yeah. But like if I'm playing with the homies, I do a lot of stuff that's and back then I obviously did a lot of that. And then definitely Fish. I watched all Fish's edits multiple times. Yeah. Like a lot of Start edits, a lot of June edits, Bray edits. Yeah. I was definitely into that style of play as well.
Yeah, gotcha. What style of player are you not into?
Well, like, I don't know. I kind of like all styles. And
I mean, the pure new gen of like Takuya, Nick, but you appreciate that stuff.
Of course, I appreciate like just because it's at such a high level and it's so obvious how ridiculously good they are. But if I'm sitting at home watching an edit, that's not what I would put on first.
Yeah. You know? I guess I think maybe, not to speak for you, but you just like a lot of character coming through.
Yeah, you can definitely speak for me if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, because I like, even if there's character coming through like a really new gen trick, I feel like you'd like it. But usually the new gen tricks that are just like the grindy, kind of sweat it out, it's just going to be tricky to post.
I like Theodora's tricks, for example, because he's doing a lot of new school stuff with taps and late flips, but he adds very creative elements into it. So I think he deserves a lot of credit for making new school Kendama so refreshing to look at. Well, when I say new school, I mean like the old new school, when it was taps, I guess like goons and stuff is a little bit more new school now. Yeah. But yeah, the taps and jugs and flips.
I gotta see this one. Oh, the neck one, dude. Remember your neck being so red?
The necklace. Yeah, that one hurt.
Yeah. Was this, have you seen this before? Was this Adrian influence or were you?
To be honest, I think Adrian did it after. I'm sorry if that's not correct, but I don't. I remember when trying it thinking, wow, I don't know if I've seen people mess around with getting it around the neck.
No, I don't. I remember like being amazed by that trick. You know Markus?
Hey, shout out Markus. Oh,
he's older now.
Yeah.
I'm sure he will.
This is such a sick line.
Dude.
The late downs from Sarah. Late Kens.
He kind of looks like Andre, doesn't he? Goya?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, from Sarah. That's sick.
So sick. Bummer he hasn't posted this 22.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Small movement.
Yeah, I had just learned that moments before from that guy Emil Valgo I mentioned.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know how interesting these are. Like now they don't look very... Oh yeah, me and Rolf doubles. Shoo.
That's funny.
I think like a little bit.
What?
Yeah, that's at least an era I like a lot myself.
Yeah.
Started kicking it more.
Yeah.
Knuckle rover.
Nice. Ooh, dude.
Yeah, there's a 1 minute video. It's so dumb.
Go watch
It's
it.
just like, yeah, sure. We're just kind of like tipsy at the crumb shop. We're just listening to this young band's song that we were just vibing out to, and we made a little cut to that song. Just being goons. Oh, I love to.
Man, this is, I don't know, like, yeah, I'm sorry. It's weird because this feels like it was so recent, but then it's actually like a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a long time ago now, man.
Anything on the mind?
This one I was proud of because it took me a long time,
Yeah.
like 3 kicks.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, because this is what I'm talking about. Like, you weren't only creating when it comes to string flow, but you were also creating and grinding like these random movements.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, this was so hype back in the day.
You got a lot of love on that one. This one, like stomping it into the ground, like that was a concept I was kind of stoked on.
Yeah.
Flipped so many times.
Bunch of flips.
Triple tray still. These were all the small cup. So yeah, this is probably the most creative era that we have just entered here.
Okay.
I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is.
This is sick. Oh yeah. You can't do that in the element.
No, that's definitely for that shit.
I remember this. Like, this was so cool.
Yeah.
So simple. And it's spun. Yeah.
That's that trick I was telling you about the other day.
Yeah.
This one, like Shredwin has been getting into these a lot, but like the goons out of the hand wraps.
Yeah. It's so
I
cool.
remember liking those a lot.
Yeah, these are all crumb shot, dude. Dude, yes. That's so sick. There you go.
Yeah.
What was making that project like?
It was awesome because at the time I spent a lot of time with Fred, who he filmed everything and edited it.
Yeah.
And it was just like loving life in Copenhagen, loving Kendama, had such a good crew. So just having these funky ideas that could be cool to film, and just have like young Fred with me everywhere. It was like this feeling of being on a little mission every time.
Yeah.
Shout out Fred for being so patient. Like, he sat for so long just with back pain and everything. Yeah, no, it was super cool. As a Kendama player, you really enjoyed putting your tricks into like a bigger edit. I feel it doesn't happen as much nowadays, but some years ago it was more common. So yeah, when you finally hit those tricks and you knew they were going in an edit, like that rush of landing the trick just was extra strong. Yeah, super sick.
Yeah. I remember seeing that edit for the first time. Or just seeing a few tricks, because that's when we were hanging out a lot. And it was super cool.
We were finishing it up right when you came to the shop. And that's when you hit your trick in the video too.
Yeah.
But what about you? You don't have a lot of edits, like edit projects like that, do you?
No, I have a few. I mean, my biggest one was probably an edit called I forget the name, Gravity. Remember that one?
What's
Triple tap, late triple flip, triple tap.
Had you created Lotus at the time?
This was, because it went out.
Let's put it on, dude. Like
That was a big project. I need to do something new. I haven't been working on it yet. It's just been Lotus, you know?
Yeah, what do you think about like nowadays? Like back in the day, it was so common to put your edits on YouTube and such, but nowadays when everything is IG, what do you think on that?
I mean, Gravity.
Oh, I've seen this.
Yeah, remember this? And then I have like smaller stuff like, oh, this is so funny. Man, now
I need to watch this one versus Ezra.
Yeah, versus my friend Ezra.
Okay. Then never mind.
Chase for the Weekend, my first triple tray liver flip.
Oh, how long is it?
3 years ago. This was hype. It's so cool going back. It's really, really shit.
Were you living in DC at the time?
Yeah.
Is that triple tray?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
I just said like, this is like the grossest laundry room. And I'm just like,
Yeah, that looks nasty.
is that crazy? That like, it's so cool to see your progression.
Yeah. Like this is like easily just Game of Ken tricks for you, all of these now.
All those juggles in between.
Yeah. But were you like drawn to taps and juggles like right away? Or
yeah, I'm trying to think of when and why. I guess it was just because they were so difficult, because I don't necessarily think they looked the best. You know, like what looks the best to me is like cool string flow, like a yank, spike, like random shit. But it was Liat for me who I really got into those lines. But I don't necessarily know why. But yeah, it was like 2017. This was 2020, early 2020 probably. That's DC.
early Lotus days too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, with the bandana.
Look at
This
that
stud.
one.
Dude, your form looks so different now.
Yeah, I know, right? This is my first triple, my first like, you know, my first
Clean.
trick. Little cool ghost line. Too much slow-mo, man. Too much fast-mo. This is like probably like very edited. My first like big edited thing.
Yeah, but it's sick. Like if it's like we don't have the music on now, but if you like
Yeah, with the music.
make it work with the music.
That was it. Double tray back and forth.
Dang. These tricks are good.
Such a bad transition. This right here, this location in DC, is where I leveled up my regen game. Like, that was so cool. I was trying to be like way cooler there.
Oh, I love those. It's like 1.5's a little half inward back.
Yeah. And we're going in to. Do you notice this? I have a sword sound right here. Which I know you can't hear it.
I can kind of hear it through your headphones. Yeah.
Here's a string flow line. Dude, way too much slow-mo.
Speed it up, Isaac.
I know, right?
Oh, you double wrapped on those. That's sick.
Yeah, you can just maybe swirls.
Hey.
Thanks to you.
Let's go, dog.
And then you just exit.
That's a good string line.
Zing.
Yeah. Got that CEO flow.
Yeah. Oh, I remember this is like one of my favorite edits ever.
Oh, dude. Happy
Should I watch
times.
this real quick?
Yeah, down.
I'll get
Are you still recording your audio if you do that?
Yeah, but I'll just get it from you for this section.
Okay.
This is one of the first times I was in Copenhagen.
Oh, big
My
vibes.
favorite song. These were like. You know that Jacob?
Yeah, up north.
That's
I remember Jacob and I both bought blooms that
we
weekend.
showed today. We showed that one. The one like hippie dude. That was
Dude, where's my spike?
we look at this a lot. When
Oh,
they
there
see
it
us
is.
playing, we make it look easy.
Dude,
obviously,
6
because
spike.
They're just like easier. than
It's more
it
like
is.
a creative project.
And I think like watching him
Sick
play,
trick.
Yeah.
you
Oh,
get
little
this.
Fred.
You feel the sensation
Oh,
of them
nice.
being like, oh shit, this is just like a heavy piece of wood. And like he did a good job. Like he got it really quickly, but he did a good job of like feeling it out, feeling the string and the tama.
Oh, Freddie. I love this kid so much.
He did that so quickly, bro.
Dude, Kendama is so easy for him.
Realize that this is it's like a lot harder than you think. You know, like when they first see it, which makes sense. I did the same
Big
thing.
vibes.
But you can see people like, oh, this my tiny little reaction is going to move the string, which moves the tama. This isn't this like controlled thing that is.
How did you come up with the name
like
Lotus
something
Kendamas?
else, you know?
Matt helped me actually.
Brother Matt?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was more
Yeah,
like
no,
a
when you're going for spike.
branding thing.
I mean, again, I remember, you know, I
Nature
spike too, but like,
peace vibes.
it's so obvious.
I definitely wanted something connected.
When the
to
time is dangling around, if you pull it up, it's not going to be
Because
like.
Kendama just
you know,
going
messed up.
outside and stuff.
Mm.
I wish
No,
that there
I
was a
know.
better story about
For
like,
most
just
people.
like a Lotus intern.
But I think that's the good thing that.
No, it works.
The difference
It's better
between
than a tree Kendama.
someone not
Yeah,
knowing
definitely.
that, like us at one point, someone
I would say like
knowing
that
that,
nature aesthetic
it's
is
just like
like
this
one of the
level
things I
of
was also very
focus.
drawn to
I remember
from Lotus
Kendama
because
early
I'm the
on
same. Like one of the things I love about
was,
Kendama is like the
like, a lot of it was
nature
just, like,
aspect of it.
focus.
There's no place
I don't
better to
remember,
play
like,
than on the
first
beach or in a
time I
forest. I
first
feel
got,
and just like
lighthouses.
holding a piece of
and-
wood in your hands. Like I always like that aesthetic a lot.
I noticed like, you know, we showed Kendama,
I got it.
we showed Kendama to,
That my first bird. Trying
person
to go for
today.
the bird, and just it seems so impossible to get that bevel, like
recording still.
you know, like around the cup, and then also just like holding it wrong, you know. But then Kendama's really given me like this level of concentration when I bring that into most athletics. Or, like I can play soccer in a Kendama way. I can play basketball in a Kendama way of like paying attention to the little things. Yeah,
That's it.
it's a really good.
Yeah, but who did we show today? We showed that one, the one like hippie dude that was by the tree.
Yeah.
And people get this a lot when they see us playing. We make it look easy, obviously, because we've been playing for a long time. But just like anybody doing anything for a long time, like make it look easier than it is. And I think like watching him play, you get this, you feel the sensation of them being like, oh shit, this is just like a heavy piece of wood.
Mm-hmm.
And like he did a good job. Like he got it really quickly.
Yeah.
He did a good job like feeling it out, feeling the string and the tama. But people, I don't think, and it's hard for me to kind of think back when I first started playing.
Yeah.
But like people don't realize that this is, it's like a lot harder than you think.
Yeah.
You know, like when they first see it, which makes sense. I did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see people like, oh, this, my tiny little reaction is going to move the string, which moves the tama.
Yeah.
This isn't this like controlled thing that is like something else. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, there's many things people don't think about in the beginning. For example,
Yeah.
that like if the tama is swinging a little back and forth, like when pulling up, like
Yeah.
these little,
Yeah, no, when you're going for spike,
yeah,
I mean, again, I remember, you know, it was hard for me to get spike too, but like, it's so obvious that when the tama is dangling around, if you pull it up, it's not going to be like, it's going to
yeah.
be all messed up.
But it just kind of isn't obvious for some people
No, I know.
when trying
For
first.
most people.
Mm.
But I think that's the good thing that Kendama teaches you is that like the difference between someone not knowing that, like us at one point, someone knowing that is just like this level of focus. And I remember Kendama early on was like a lot of it was just like focusing. I don't know if you remember like your first my first like lighthouses
Mhm.
and I'm trying to think I think like my very first spike was like that first night that I got it. Or like that, I remember my first bird, trying to go for the bird.
Mm.
And just, it seems so impossible to get that bevel, like, you know, like around the cup. And then also just like holding it wrong, you
Yeah.
know? But then Kendama's really given me that, like this level of concentration when I bring that into most athletics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I can play soccer in a Kendama way. I can
Yeah.
play basketball in a Kendama way of like paying attention to the little things.
I know exactly what you mean, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a really good life lesson.
Yeah, that's very true, and something you don't understand it until you've just put so many hours into it.
Yeah.
But exactly like you're saying. I'd say like even with schoolwork or sometimes little things I do at work, I apply the process of learning kendama.
Yeah.
Like it, and it
That's
works.
so
Like
true,
it
dude.
really like it's really like a great teacher.
Yeah.
On a
It's like
grander
cliche,
scale.
but it's so true.
Yeah. Yeah. And like when people ask me like, why do you always carry that thing around? People who don't know kendama,
Yeah.
like if I try to tell them this, like they won't. They
No.
like, what the hell are you just like?
But it makes so much sense for people who've played,
Yeah,
who've learned this stuff.
yeah,
And I'm sure that I wonder if you master the guitar, that there's this technique that you learn, this feeling, this sensation that is so hard to explain
mm.
that can be brought over to other things, like the guitar, for example. I mean, you're a good guitar player. I'm a good guitar player. Maybe we haven't gotten there yet, but like, so far in guitar, I haven't gotten this sensation of like that kendama gives me, this teaching, like so hard to put into words, but just this level
Like
of
some lessons
focus.
you've learned through
Yeah,
the.
or just like the fact that we can do our homework, or we can like shoot a basketball in a way, in the kendama way,
Yeah,
when I'm like really focusing on my feeling, my fingers, how they feel with the ball.
I would say like for me on the point you're bringing up right there, like for example a basketball shot, like I find that I play kendama the best when there's like when I sort of turn my brain off. Maybe you're different in this way,
Yeah.
because but my focus is like removing thoughts away from the process, because I have the information in my muscle memory and in my brain of what I should be doing already.
Yeah.
But if I think too much about it and focus on too many little details, I actually end up messing up things.
Gotcha.
I feel the same when I play guitar, for example, when you just shut off your mind, just let your
Yeah.
body do it. Like it's kind of like your feelings coming out of the tool.
Yeah.
So when shooting a basketball, when I play with Alex, for example, like we shoot hoops, I find myself doing worse if I try.
Yeah.
Where it's like kind of it's like this flow moment.
Yeah.
Where I feel like thinking and putting my humanness on it,
Yeah.
kind of like messes up the
Yeah, you just wanna
natural
flow.
unfolding.
You want to be your body more connected to the thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
What did you mean by when you do your homework in the kendama way? Can you give me like an example of that? Like
Yeah, well, in the way that maybe you have a task ahead of you that is just like, phew, this seems like a mountain I just can't climb, kind of. Having gone through the kendama process so ridiculously many times of learning difficult things,
Yeah.
being like at the base level and being like, oh, wow, I actually ended up achieving this goal. I can't believe I actually was able to do that.
Yeah.
I think I give up way less easy
Uh-huh.
with difficult tasks in life in general, for example, homework. After just having gone through that process, it's just kind of, all right, I want to learn triple slinger back in the day.
Yeah.
And I was, I guess I start with just trying to sling it around like you start with at this base level. Kind of the same with like this history assignment or whatever. Like I know nothing, but I guess I'll just start trying and gaining knowledge. I don't know if they if the comparison kind of makes sense, but just that like, all right, I'm ready to go the full length in order to achieve the goal, sort of.
Yeah, I totally feel you. And people I think it's like a level of confidence. And when when you hear confidence, you think of like confidence in doing something.
Yeah.
But what kendama has given me is confidence in like the process of learning something.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because the state that you're in when you're trying a trick for the very first time and it feels so foreign and so difficult and so impossible, and then as you go through that process a few months later to you knowing it and then thinking back of how foreign it was, that exact process isn't just related to kendama, that's related to everything new.
Yeah.
Whether it's like shooting a basketball, or if it's doing studying a new topic, studying a new subject at school, or it's learning how to build a car, or learning how an engine works.
Yeah.
Like I'm not confident in like specifically different things. I'm confident in the ability to learn something new.
Yeah. I think you put it in a good way. Sometimes as kendama players, I also feel like, for me at least, I forget the process I've been through, sort of, because when I just start doing tricks at the sesh that I can just do, I forget like the work that has been put in. Like I know you're a decent level, you have a decent level in playing switch.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like if you go now and try and do a trick,
Yeah.
switch, that you easily can do with your right hand, you realize, geez, I went like this is so hard right now, but I have already gone through that process of I can do this like with my right hand and and I
and that gets to the topic of like plateauing, which I would think that like I want to say that 90% of now players are beginner or intermediate, so they might have not experienced this yet, but I think players plateau when they get to a level that they're satisfied with of their own ability. They're not chasing this thing anymore, and they kind of got like to a level. And I've experienced this, and you've experienced this, but it's that that you plateau, you're happy with your level, and you haven't grinded in a while, and you forget you're not actively realizing that you haven't grinded in a while. But for example, a trick that I was doing recently. What was it that like and I find now that it's a trick. If I hate a trick, like me like hating a trick and despising it, like I don't want to do that. You give me a down day, I'm like I don't want to do that. Yeah. It's because that like it's just because I don't want to learn it, and it's hard. Yeah. But that's the exact same level of difficulty that me doing the tricks that I like now. What I experienced back in the day. Yeah. Like, what trick did you not like recently? Like yesterday, you were like, I don't want to learn that.
Oh yeah, what was it you were doing? Where like I was just like no, two tap, late Ken. Yeah. I was because I agree with everything you're saying. Where you know that there's just a process ahead, but like that kind of brings me back to. I like in my style, just doing the tricks that appeal to me. And that's the same with you and your insane progression in taps and late flips. Yeah. Because these tricks appeal to you, so you just keep expanding your level in that direction, I guess.
But you realize that like I guess there is a level of appealing, right? That like when you were first starting out, there were tricks that you just didn't gravitate towards, and you gravitated towards others. But nowadays, I feel like a lot of tricks that don't appeal to me are just ones that I haven't done. The concepts that I haven't explored. Yeah.
I'm sure I would love that trick if I was good at it.
Or dude, even if you gave it an hour sesh, which would suck.
Yeah, it would.
But I feel like we get to a point where like we forget how difficult it is, and like a triple lighthouse, like with your left hand, if you do it now, how much concentration it takes, and how you have to focus so much to catch it. And it's like sweaty and it's difficult if you do it with your offhand, But now with your right hand, it's the funnest trick because it's smooth and like if you miss it, you know why you missed it. Yeah. And it's just like super fun. But it's literally your enjoyment of the trick is just how good you have it.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
But that's I think. Why I really value competition, because it makes if you have a goal of doing well, or even just like learning open tricks, learning KWC tricks, and going for a certain level, that means you're going to have to do, like you can't just only pick tricks. Every trick list there's going to be tricks that you haven't done, or that you need to work on, and so that forces you to learn those and get good at those, and it sucks. But then, like, another example. So your dub tap late was for KWC, my inward toss, straight to spike. Yeah. Which I probably only landed 3 times before KWC, so I didn't add it to my list. I grinded it for a long time. I hated it at first. I slowly started to like it as I played, which makes perfect sense. But now, just think about that trick now wants me to, like, play Kendama. Yeah. Because, man, it's so crazy. It's almost like you if you want to keep playing Kendama for a long time, if you don't add those in, if you don't push yourself, again it's cliche, but like specifically push yourself by doing tricks you don't like, or tricks that like you don't have, you're just going to slowly dwindle down into tricks that you know. Yeah.
That's true.
And then you stop having fun. Yeah.
That's also why I think Dama dares in circles with your friends is like, especially in beginning for us in my crew, we gave each other dares all the time. Yeah. So many people on Kendama forums also asking for dares. Yeah. Yeah. I remember in the Chrome shop, I think, was it Benji or was it Emil? One of them told me like, all right, you don't know which tricks to practice right now, or you're like kind of doing what you've been doing, like just everything you know, just start doing it inward. They
Yeah.
started saying.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's true. Like, but that
Yeah.
it's also up to the individual how much time they feel like
Yeah.
putting in it, and how, what kind of ambitions they have.
Yeah.
What they want to learn.
Yeah, exactly. But I think if Kendama is this learning tool as we say it is, and us learning this toy or this game is teaching us all these things and making us think of different ways that we can progress and get plateau, that whole process can be put into anything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it can be put into business and making money and going to school, which are the more like not like underground things
Mhm,
that now
mhm.
are, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But that just adds so much value. Which is it's so crazy too, because I'm sure skateboarding is like incredibly similar and the
Yeah.
dynamics are similar.
Yeah, just
Of
with
what these,
with the danger aspect as well added
Yeah.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
but that's why like because of Kendama, I definitely find so much value in like hobbies.
Yeah.
Because I was a person that struggled with school, you struggled with school, and it's like once I like was able to like actually do something, like find a trick that I couldn't do and then do it, it was just like my world opening up,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And
Yeah.
of course it had to happen a few times, maybe I had to play Kendama for a few years before I really realized it. But like, yeah.
Yeah, but also in the terms of learning other things, I think like a lot of the tricks we know on a Kendama we have learned because the process also have been fun. I think
Yeah.
fun is a key word. A lot of boring tasks, if you figure out a way,
Yeah.
or anything you're trying to learn, if you figure out a way to make it fun,
Yeah.
like you'll progress even faster.
Yeah.
I feel I try to do that in like with work, for example. If I have like a bunch of clothes I have to sort out, I'd make some stupid counting game out of it, or something, or anything I'm trying to learn.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, those are just things that you learn along the way. And I have the same thing. If it was a test that I really did not want to do,
Yeah.
I guess you just think about like completing it or think of a reason to like it,
Mhm.
and you can get it done, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
What else has Kendama taught you?
To stop when I'm not enjoying the process anymore, maybe.
Yeah.
Like if I continue a grind where I'm getting frustrated or just simply not enjoying it anymore, put it away. Also, yeah, what you and I have been doing recently with filming each other 5 minutes at the
Yeah.
time, and kind of like resetting your sesh
Yeah.
for a little moment.
Yeah.
I guess you can apply that to many other things in life, like put
Yeah.
it aside for a moment. Maybe that's just for me and the way my brain works. I'm pretty, I know you were pretty ADHD as well, but
Yeah.
like that kind of a brain, I think it's good to split it up into smaller chunks. But I don't know if that's one of the major lessons.
Yeah,
it
I
has
guess
taught me.
when I think back in my Kendama grind, I would grind so hard until I was like so frustrated. And now it's not that I don't grind. I'm still learning tricks, but I think I have like a much healthier and not only healthier but also like more efficient process of like knowing when to stop and like not giving up, but just knowing when to like take a break.
Yeah.
You know, like there was probably a lot of tricks that my time would have been so much better spent of me just not stop playing
Yeah.
at that time
Yeah.
because at that time I was so much in the zone after 2 hours of trying like a trade spike,
Yeah.
doing the wrong things. My muscle was tired, my legs are tired. You in your mind space, you're not gonna land it. Like you're just not there. And like it doesn't mean to give up. It just means like just take a breather, take a break, even if it's a little break. Like you don't need to like keep going, do. Like you can just even try the next day. And obviously that usually means you land it in 3 minutes. You know? Which is what happens so often. It's just your body needs to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like there's so many lessons you can learn in that. You also learn a lot about yourself, like when you're pushed to the limit, when you're not achieving something you so desperately want, like what
Yeah.
happens inside of you.
Yeah.
Like you unveil some things, some parts of yourself that maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like maybe a lot of people never get to explore that if they don't chase that thing.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I guess we all have our ways of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like Kendama is incredibly similar to a lot of different jobs and passions and work across varieties of life, but Kendama gives a lot of younger kids who may not get it through school this opportunity to explore. It's really exploring themselves,
Yeah.
exploring their mind, their abilities, and what you can do.
Yeah.
And then they can relate that to everything else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was working at a school for 3 years where there's two kids in particular that comes to mind that it's just another example of what a Kendama can do for kids. For example, these two kids were maybe not like the most popular kids in the classroom, and they found Kendama through we were doing these after school program Kendama workshops. And they got like extremely hooked and have bought many Kendamas. And I saw how they sort of formed an identity and kind of, I don't know. It was just so cool to see what grinding Kendama did to these kids and seeing them develop with the Kendama. Where I'm like, I don't know if they would.
Confidence.
Yeah, gave them some confidence and like going through that process of learning stuff and like being a little cool in the other kids' eyes and
Being good at something is
Yeah.
just so big.
yeah. And yeah, but like the confidence you gain from, okay, I put the work in, I failed, but I kept trying, and then I succeeded.
Yeah.
Like that is some valuable lessons to learn right there,
Yeah.
I believe.
But it is so funny because if you look at it from like a mature point of view, you struggle through something, you can't do it, you don't think you'll ever do it. You finally learn it after struggling, and then you impress your friends by showing off how easy it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about skateboarding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like maybe a little like toxic culture at the skate park, and I think everybody is so much more similar than they are different, and everybody it takes forever to kickflip. Of course, there's some like rare people, but the way you impress your peers after you learn something is just saying like how easy it is.
Yeah.
Which I know it's like kind of like a teenage thing. But
Yeah, definitely.
um,
Yeah, too.
yeah, just being yeah, but back to like the kids. Yeah, I think being good at something is huge. You
Yeah.
know?
Also think it's so important for kids to do sports, for example, or
Yeah.
something similar to this, something to
Yeah.
put themselves into, put your effort into, and learn yourself through, like playing in a football team, for example, just
Yeah.
the struggles, all the the
Yeah.
expectations you set for yourself, all the ups and downs of the process.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I came across Kendama because
Yeah.
it has taught me so many things I use in my everyday life without even noticing. Also,
Yeah.
just the fact that we're like you learn how to learn also. So if you start a new creative endeavor now, you'll probably progress faster because of what you've been through with Dama.
Yeah, totally.
Like if you and I go play darts, we're both gonna be pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably because of our sensitivity in our fingers and understanding how to aim and hit the target and juggling
And
balls.
like specifically, there's an ego thing when there's people who truly believe they can't do something. Like I can't, you know, with Kendama you see that, like, oh, I won't be able to do that. I can't do that, you know? And I was probably like that too. Or I guess maybe not through athletics, but through school definitely. I was incredibly discouraged. And there wasn't anything wrong with me. There wasn't anything special or unique to me. It was just that attitude.
Yeah.
And I would say the more academic people who aren't as athletic probably see that with Kendama. Like there's people that are like, oh yeah, I don't. Like maybe the boyfriend would be like, oh yeah, let me try that. And the girlfriend is like, yeah, nah, I'm not. That's not for me, you know.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with their actual. It's just what they, you know, came up with in their head.
Yeah, but
Like,
mindset is a big
mindset.
thing. But
Yeah.
a lot of people have exactly that with kendama, like,
Yeah.
I can't do that. And then you see, yeah, you can do it. Try it again with
Yeah.
when you're teaching someone first spike,
Yeah.
and they said, yeah, I'm never gonna do that. And then
Yeah.
they hit it. Like that
Yeah.
feeling already is just like the mini version of what we have learned over the years.
Yeah.
You know, like I thought I
Yeah.
couldn't do it, but I kept trying, sort of.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
But yeah, like even it's so funny because with kendama, like learning to take my ego out of it, like when I'm learning a brand new game, maybe it's Eric's game back at Ribbon Boards or it's Cornhole or something. Like even if people are encouraging, I don't need any encouragement now.
Mm-mm.
You know, like I know that this has nothing to do with my attitude.
Mm.
Like I know that I never get frustrated. And I know I say this, like maybe I do get frustrated, but like I would never get frustrated in the same way that I would before kendama when I'm learning something new.
Yeah.
And even if it's academics or anything, like I just know because of kendama that there is a long process you have to go through.
Yeah.
And I know that there's steps you have to take, and I know that I'm not different in any way. This is just the way that it works.
Mm.
And I learned that through kendama, through trying to do a spike and trying to do a bird, and then moving on up to where I am at now. I learned so much quicker. It's like so much more valuable. I learn if I need to throw a cornhole toss, like I like take a step back. I watch how somebody else does it, right? Because you've seen so many first spikes,
Yeah.
and they don't watch.
Yeah.
Like they just take the kendama and they start swinging,
Yep. Yep.
and you're like, hey, just look at me for a second, and then like you know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do when I learn something new. You know, like I just watch somebody. Hey, what do you like? You convey your feelings towards me of like how this feels to do, and then from there I feel it out and I do it, and then I know how much I'm gonna miss because
Yeah.
I know how much kendama I miss
Yeah.
and how long it takes to get in, and then yeah, just with kendama when you spike it, when you land the first trick, what that felt like, what you did that was right, you know, what you were doing that was wrong, the sensation that you need to do to make sure that it spikes, putting that towards anything else, you know?
Yep.
Whether it's like passing the test or if it's taking a good picture or it's, learning something. It's like so similar, you know?
Yeah. That's very valuable.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
Shout out Kendama.
yeah. Good place to end it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks, dude.
Thank you so
Really
much, dude.
appreciate it.
It was fun being on.
We went through a lot of stuff. I'm glad that we went through the OG days
Yeah.
and through your Instagram. So
Didn't go through the questions on the thing, but I guess that's fine.
real quick,
Are you sure? I mean,
there's gonna be like some dumb questions from like Gino and
that's good about Arsenal.
yeah. No, Gino has good questions. So I'm just joking. Frank posts with his like sunglasses. How he does those sea whips rolls or like tips for him?
Well, keep your eyes peeled on the Lotus Kendamas page. We got tutorials coming up.
How long you grind a new trick? Is up to
5
vocabulary? How long you grind new trick?
5 minutes every time.
Nice. What was his first Chrome Kendama? Tomic. Remember Tomic?
Oh yeah, my first Chrome was there was one called the Horse, which had the horizontal stripe. It was an oak kendama, but I had the other one that had a vertical stripe, and I don't know what it's called. I
Okay.
think that was my first Chrome, a deluxe.
This guy has a question for you. Do interview with Joshua Grove should be go? So what would you say to that?
All right, I'll hit him up and interview him.
Favorite German football club? I need a decision. Marco.
Oh, Marco. Oh, dude. Wolfsburg or no? I'm going with Sao Paulo. I'll go with your team, bro.
What's your advice for A, novice, B, advanced, C, well-seasoned players who want to have fun and progress?
Well, have fun, keep playing, play with your friends.
We're flying through these. What would you tell somebody, dude, everybody's missed this, who wants to find a way of breaking free from the box?
tricks wise. So he's not trapped in some kind of cardboard box that he means through Kendama.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't need to send help.
How to
This is just his tricks, running
to
tricks.
find a knife?
Yeah,
No.
yell.
So
Get
how
off
to-
Instagram.
So the question is like how to think outside the box or
Yeah.
break out.
Yeah. Well, you kind of answered earlier, which was a really good answer, of just like seshing and then just kind of looking.
Yeah. Maybe just like let your hands take over and don't be scared to think really silly thoughts when playing Kendama, and then try and be inspired by something
Yeah.
that's like different in other ways. You know?
It's a really, really good, that's really good advice, to be silly. But I feel like people kind of, you kind of know what you need to do.
Yeah.
It's just taking that step
Yeah.
and like being okay with failure. But like, if you want to create a new trick,
Yeah. Think about
it's super easy to create a new trick. If you just think about these two things.
Yeah, but then again,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
But
know.
it's not just not obvious. But there's a trillion tricks
Yeah.
that are like right there that we
Yeah.
haven't seen. But
Yeah.
like about the thing being silly. Like if you think of Albert, and
Yeah.
all the stuff.
Yeah.
How many times has he looked silly with the string in his hand, like trying to push it that way, and then that way, and the things get tangled up, and then like oh, there was a little spark of something, you know,
Yeah.
like, and then feed that little spark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try stuff, I suppose.
His original Tama designs for Chrome were amazing. Would he be interested in designing more?
I never designed a Tama for Chrome,
Cool.
but I'd definitely be down to design a Tama.
What do you think they mean? No idea. What are his favorite non-string flow tricks?
I like handle stalls, lunars, and stilts.
Okay.
Just a lot of inward stilts.
How does he learn his string flow?
Trying silly things again,
Yeah.
and trying to learn from someone who's better at it than you.
Yeah.
And you should look at the tutorials we got coming out, and you'll learn all sorts of string stuff. Hopefully.
Okay, so this is a two-part question. What's the ideation process for flow? Does he jam knowing moves or positions he wants, or does he just let the damo take him where it wants to go?
It's a mix of both, I would say. I think you definitely need a foundation, which we're also breaking down in the tutorials.
Yeah.
There's like three, I usually say just the normal spacewalk, a swirl, and a hand roll. If you have that, you're good to go. Because you can combine them, and then from there, try just add some flavor to it. Somehow it might be silly, but maybe something cool comes out of it.
What's the most memorable event or moment in Kendama for him?
Most memorable Kendama event or moment?
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many. It was really cool in Minnesota for NAKO to have the Lotus video dropping,
Yeah.
just because it was like the energy in the room.
Yeah.
I was a little drunk, so it was like too overwhelming.
All those people there too.
But it was cool because so many people just said big up, and but there's countless of beautiful moments. Like I've been to so many events in Europe. I could spend all. Well, I got second place at Damarama. It was on my birthday. So many beautiful people were there. I remember being so ridiculously happy. The previous year at Damarama in Aarhus. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was beautiful day.
What's 9 plus 10?
19? 18! 18, of course.
How did you two become friends?
Well, I was hitting on Isaac's girlfriend. No, yeah, you came by the shop,
Yeah.
and I felt like at least we just clicked instantly. I like you instantly. You're like, this guy's awesome.
Oh, thanks. And then I slowly became better at taxing.
Yeah, facts.
That's the reason that I'm
Facts.
playing on still just to get better at taxing, Markus. Faye vids, how the OG Copenhagen culture has had influence on his life in Dama.
Yeah,
I think I heard.
I talked about
Yeah.
Copenhagen, but my favorite vids,
Yeah.
Secret Alphabets by Yachtbird.
Yeah.
Yeah, his edit is just ridiculously dope.
It's such a sick name for an edit.
Yeah, one of my favorite players to watch play Kendama is Finn Pounds.
Yeah.
His edit that he dropped for Depot, I watched that again and again.
Just recently? Or no, his.
Yeah, I think it came out at Battle or NAKO? No, Battle.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
One of the two. Yeah, like I could watch Finn play all day because he messes with so many silly concepts. He's just the most stylish dude, and he's just so awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Russ, I really like Russ's Instagram clips,
Yeah.
and then his the edit you made with him for his announcement.
Yeah.
I like watching that one too.
Yeah.
There's many, a lot.
Why did you leave the Crom team? Juicy.
Why? I don't know. Like going into depth on that will take some time. Do we want to cover it? Or I kind of touched on it a
Yeah.
little bit.
It's like a new chapter for you.
Yeah, it just felt like it was time to leave, and it was happening at the same time as you asked if I wanted to be on Lotus, and it just felt really organically. It was kind of time to leave. I wasn't feeling my best there. I wasn't fulfilling my full Dama potential at
Yeah.
Chrome at
Yeah.
the end.
What are some tips you would give someone trying to start their own Kendama brand?
I think that's a question for Isaac.
I don't know. Pick a good name. No, like something that sends a good message. There's a lot of weird names out there. I'm not to get like judgy, but like, yeah, you gotta pick a good name. Ask about PDocs.
P-Docs.
So I'm asking you.
Yeah.
PDocs?
Yes.
Question mark.
P-Docs.
Yes.
Well, for those who don't know, it's like I guess it's like just a crew of homies. It's Adrian, Shredwin, Matt, Finn, Joe, Russ, Ria, and I.
Yeah.
I really hope I'm not forgetting someone.
Adrian.
I said Adrian, I think. Yeah, the homies. Like Matt does a lot of awesome graffiti art. He's really talented, and he has worked at a printing store and has been printing clothes for a while. So he makes some sick Kendama like collective merch, I guess. Yeah, I was in Estonia with Chrome for Simple session, and Joe Nelson came out there, and Joe and I really hit it off well. And he asked me if I wanted to join PDocs, and I thought PDocs was just the sickest thing in Kendama. So like, fuck yeah, of course I want to join PDocs. And yeah, it's been, I don't know, 3 years now or something,
Yeah.
maybe more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more than 3 years, I think.
Max Angel asked body count.
Body count? What does that mean?
How many people you've slept with?
Oh, over 9,000.
18.
18.
It's a lot
Times
of
five.
questions. How is it to be the Steez Lord?
I don't know, ask Benji.
Alright, 4 more. What is 18 PDocs 18?
It's a gang.
How does he do all these auto spikes?
Just practice and just do it.
Yeah. And you also you recently bought an automatic car and you used to have a manual one. I feel like that helped.
Yeah, it definitely did. Yeah.
What's a legit cloud bounce? How would you define it?
Well, I would say, for me personally, maybe it's just a pet peeve of mine. Maybe I'm too judgmental, but I have a hard time when people, both with goons and like goon pinches where it exits,
Yeah.
and with cloud bounces, like if they catch Sarah, like I just,
Yeah.
I mean,
You hate Sarah. Yeah. I remember you always talking about like catching Sarah.
I don't know. It annoys my eyes so much. But I'm not calling anyone out for like
Yeah.
that trick is unclean. But it's just like a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
So for me, a clean cloud bounce, like if you're meaning to land Sarah and you go Sarah, it's clean. But
Yeah.
usually you go for Ken grip. So
Yeah.
I would want it to be Ken grip. But I don't feel like I need to explain what a cloud bounce is. I guess
That's one.
string tension. Yeah.
Do you think drinking beers while playing Dama will lower the chances of lacing the trick?
No, not necessarily. It really depends on the amount. But I think I've been like somewhat tipsy on some sessions where I probably hit the trick because I was not overthinking the trick. I had like this loosey-goosey approach to the sesh, I guess. Sometimes that's like the secret key.
Yeah.
I know Rolf, he likes to get a little litty before
Yeah.
going on stage.
Yeah.
That helps him lace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, thank
Thanks.
you so much, dude. Sweet.
Yeah.